Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Continuing the lesson with order of operations. I wanted to give you guys a couple examples and see if you can follow along as I'm demonstrating what you need to do. And you can see that we're moving into the more the expansion of the equation where we have like parentheses, exponents, and stuff. So you'll see that throughout the week too when you look at your lessons and start to view how the equations are changing. And if you're following the procedures and rules, you'll see how the answers will come across to make sense as you're doing the calculations. Okay, so let's take a look at the first one. We got 5 plus 2, inside we have the parentheses, and then I told you, don't forget, we're using this as, with the math term, which means multiplication, and the number 7. Okay, so as I'm looking at that, I'm thinking about the order of operations. Okay, so what do we start with as we look, right? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, so as we think about that, okay, there are parentheses. So the first thing I need to do is look inside the parentheses, and we have a 5 plus a 2. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the 5 plus 2, and again, you could do it any step that you want. I just like to bring it down step by step so you can see how the flow goes, because then as the numbers start to grow, you don't want to confuse yourself and reuse a number that you already did. So 5 plus 2, we have 7. And what I would do is still continue. Bring those parentheses down. It's okay. You're going to continue. If you don't, you'll still see how the answer will still correspond to be the same. Then I'm bringing down the multiplication, and then I'm bringing down the 7. So now again, I'm looking. If it confuses you because you brought the parentheses down, it's okay. We could take that off. It's the same concept. And you can see you're still going to get the same answer. So again, 5 plus 2 in parentheses, you get 7. You bring down the multiplication, and then we bring down the last 7. Now, right now, we only got one more step. So we're done right now. We just have to make sure our calculations is correct. So a 7 times a 7 is going to give an answer of what? Very good. Give an answer of 49. Okay? Now let's move into number 2. Okay, number 2, you can see it's a little bit different now. Okay, again, we're using PEMDAS, right? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally is what you can keep saying to figure out what comes first. Are there parentheses in here? No. We'll move on to the next letter, which is what? E. Are there exponents in here? Yes, right? We have 2 to the power of 3, or don't forget, we can use the math terms you start to use in the vocabulary is 2 cubed. Okay, so again, don't get confused. You're not doing 2 times 3, which is going to give you 6. That's not the correct exponential form. You need to, expand it out. So you can write it as you go. So 2 to the 3 would be 2 times 2 times 2. That's the exponent form. Remember, this is the base, and this is the exponent. So again, 2 times 2 is 4, and then 4 times 2 gives you 8. So 2 cubed, or 2 to the power of 3, gives us 8. And again, as you're going, please make sure, bring down each step. Minus 2 plus 6, okay? Excuse my sloppy handwriting. So right now we have 8 minus 2 plus 6. And when you're following the order and the rules as it goes, it's whatever comes first, left to right. Again, I'm going to keep explaining that. Whatever comes first, left to right, as if you're reading a book. So between subtraction and addition, because there's no division, there's no multiplication. So I need to know that, yes, in the order as it says, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, the A does become before the S. But when you're reading left to right, it's whatever equation comes first. That keyword is first. So between subtraction and addition, because that's the only 2 left, what comes first? And in this case, it's the subtraction. So 8 minus 2 gives you what, right? 8 minus 2 gives you, okay, we have 6. And then we bring down the addition sign, and we have 6. So that's what we have left over. So again, we're looking. 2 cubed gives us 8. Bring down the subtraction. We bring down the plus 6. And we do the next step. 8 minus 2 is 6. 6 plus 6 gives us, and you'll get an answer of 12. Okay? And again, all the stuff I'm sending you, there's a lot of charts and other things that will help you throughout the process to understand. And when we do our live Zoom meetings and stuff like that, we can go over all the problems and any questions you might have, or continue to email and reach out. So let's take a look at number 3. Right? A little bit more challenging. We have parentheses, but inside the parentheses we have 2 times 4 minus 2, close the parentheses, add 5. So inside the parentheses you have 2 operations. And then on the outside is what you work with last, because that's not within the parentheses what you need to do with the rules. So in the parentheses first, between multiplication and subtracting, if we're thinking about the rules and procedures, I know that multiplication has to come first. It comes first in the rule of order of operations, and that's how you're going to get the correct answer in the quickest way. So 2 times 4 gives us 8. But don't forget, you still have to follow through and do what's less in the parentheses. So we bring down the minus, sign, and we bring down the 2. So again, 2 times 4 is 8. Bring down the subtraction sign, bring down the 2. Again, 8 minus 2 gives you what? Gives us 6. So I can erase this. You know that once I do my correct order of operations inside my little order of operations, I'm going to get an answer of 6. And then I'm bringing down the plus, and I'm bringing down the 5. Because again, why am I doing that? I'm following the procedure. 2 times 4 is 8. Minus 2 gives me 6. I finish what's inside the parentheses. There are no exponents, right? And there is no division or anything else. So I'm bringing down the one last operation, which is addition. So 6 plus 5 will give me an answer of 11. Okay? Sorry about that. So the last problem, we'll continue. This one where it gets a little challenging, that people make a common mistake. So this problem has parentheses 2 plus 3. Outside the parentheses now, we close that. We have the exponent, which is squared. So the common misconception people make is when they're doing this, is that they're going to take, so I'm going to just demonstrate for you what the common mistake people make is that they would do, I'll put it down in a second, 2 squared plus 3 squared. So take a look what I wrote. And as I'm kind of walking you through, just think about what the mistake, that I'm doing right now. Okay, I'll pause for a second and just look, 2 plus 3 parentheses squared. And what I wrote here is 2 squared plus 3 squared. Take a look and think about like how we're doing the rules. Does that apply to be correct? Because if I did this, right, this would be 2 squared, which would be what? 2 times 2, which gives me 4. And then, again, I'm bringing down the one operation, which is add. But we still have to do this one, which is 3 squared. So 3 squared is 3 times 3, right? Which is 9. And if we take 9 plus 4, we get 13. So think about that for a second, what we did. But if you're following along, this is not the correct way to do this problem. And the reason why I say that is that you have to follow and do what is inside the parentheses first that corresponds to the question. So if I'm looking at this, 2 plus 3 is what? Inside the parentheses first, remember. So 2 plus 3 is giving us 5. Then, if you want, you can still close the parentheses. It's the same because now you're down to the single whole number that represents what's in the parentheses. So 2 plus 3 is 5. Then we put the squared up top. And now you're going to see the difference. The first answer that I showed you, which was the incorrect, was 9 plus 4, it's got us 13. Because we're taking the 2 squared and adding on an extra step that's really not there. In this case, if you follow the procedure, 2 plus 3 is giving you 5. Then 5 squared would be what? Again, make sure you're following with the base, with the exponent. It's not 5 times 2, which is 10. You're going to do 5 squared, which would be 5 times 5, which gives you what? Exactly 25. Okay? So think about the examples. I gave you an assignment to do that corresponds to all this and how it's going to apply. And then tomorrow's lesson I'm going to show you is how we're going to infuse this into a real world word problem. And you're going to have to read it. We'll read it together. But then I want you to submit what the mistake that you think I might be making according to what the problem is asking. Okay, so again, follow through, reach out to me. I hope this has helped, and we'll just continue to get through the order of operations and finish up the week strong. Okay, everyone have a great rest of the day. I'll see you soon.